As Earth's population gradually grew, the ecological environment completely collapsed, making extraterrestrial migration humanity's only choice. To achieve this, humans launched numerous algae-carrying spacecraft to Mars in an attempt to terraform it into a habitable planet. After years of effort, the plan was nearly complete. However, one day, oxygen levels on Mars suddenly dropped sharply. To discover the truth, scientists assembled an exploration team and headed to Mars with a navigator robot. After a 6-month journey, the spacecraft successfully arrived in Mars orbit. But just as they were preparing to land, a solar storm suddenly struck, destroying the ship's operating system. With fire rapidly spreading, the commander ordered the others to land early while she remained alone to save the spacecraft. At this point, artificial gravity had failed, and floating liquids caused electrical shorts, triggering an even larger fire. Kate immediately grabbed a fire extinguisher to fight the flames, but in the weightless environment, she couldn't stabilize herself. She took the risk of opening the hatch, and as the fire was vented into outer space, the crisis was finally resolved. Meanwhile, those who had landed early also touched down successfully but lost contact with the spacecraft. Now they could only place their hopes in a supply pod 60 kilometers away. But when they arrived, the supply pod was reduced to nothing but a pile of framework, plunging everyone into despair. Fortunately, they found an unmanned probe and used its radio to establish contact with the spacecraft. From the rescue plan, they learned that a spacecraft was 100 kilometers away, but due to an incoming Martian storm, they had to stop advancing. However, another team member was anxious to leave immediately and ultimately died in a disaster. Inside the deceased teammate's body, Sean saw a swarm of insects. Just as he was about to cut open the faceplate for a closer look, the insects exploded in an instant. Observing the emerging insects, Sean speculated they might be able to restore Earth's ecology, so he took out a test tube and collected some. Unexpectedly, the remaining insects became startled and surrounded him. At the critical moment, he threw the sample to Jack, then used a flare to ignite all the insects. Shortly after, Jack finally found the spacecraft, but its propulsion system was damaged. Now the only energy source was that robot, so he pretended to collapse, and when the robot approached out of concern, Jack seized the opportunity to extract its battery. With everything ready, Jack successfully returned to space. The two embarked on their return voyage, carrying humanity's last hope.